A huge fire has ripped through one of the Rohingya refugee camps in Cox Bazar in southeast Bangladesh. The charity ActionAid said their initial assessment was that more than 2,000 shelters had been gutted, leaving around 12,000 people homeless. Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees who escaped violence in neighbouring Myanmar have been living in crammed camps near the border in Bangladesh.
Now, violent clashes broke out between police and protesters outside the Greek parliament in Athens after last week's rail tragedy. Earlier, the Greek Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, asked the families of the victims of Tuesday's rail disaster for forgiveness. The collision between a passenger and a freight train has caused nationwide outrage. In the last few hours, demonstrators set fire to rubbish bins and threw Molotov cocktails. Police responded by firing tear gas and stun grenades.
At least 9 police officers have been killed in a suicide bomb attack in southwestern Pakistan. It happened in Kek district in the southwestern province of Baluchistan. At least 11 others have been injured. No group has yet claimed responsibility behind the attack.
An explosion happened near a vehicle of the Baluchistan Constabulary. This is a paramilitary force. They were traveling near a bridge when a powerful explosion tossed over the vehicle, and a number of people reported killed in that particular attack.
China has announced that it will be boosting its military spending in the coming years to counter what it describes as escalating threats from abroad. The move was announced at the National People's Congress, a rubber-stamp parliament, which is currently meeting in Beijing. Officials said the country's military budget would increase by 7.2%. Now, China's current military budget is around $225 billion US. That's only about a quarter of that of the United States.
For the first time, Ukrainian pilots are in the U.S. working with U.S. military pilots to assess their skills and familiarize them on new equipment and aircraft like the F-16. The 2 Ukrainian pilots are at a U.S. military base in Tucson, Arizona, working on simulators that mimic various aircraft. They are not flying actual planes, according to defense officials. And as many as 10 more Ukrainian pilots are expected to join them in the coming weeks. This comes as Ukrainian President Zelensky has repeatedly asked the U.S. for F-16, but the Biden administration has resisted. Last week, the Pentagon's top policy official told Congress F-16s could take at least 18 months to deliver and cost billions of dollars, saying Pentagon leaders instead are focused on weapons and equipment they can deliver more immediately.
Tonight, federal investigators are trying to figure out how turbulence in the skies turned deadly. The Federal Aviation Administration says this Bombardier Challenger 300 was flying from New Hampshire to Virginia Friday when it encountered severe turbulence diverting to Connecticut. The National Transportation Safety Board says 1 passenger suffered fatal injuries. In a statement, Bombardier saying it is deeply saddened and will fully support and provide assistance to all authorities as needed, adding, "We stand behind our aircraft."
Currently, the number that we can confirm is plus or minus 36 vehicles that are involved in this accident. The cause of the accident is one truck that is responsible. Unfortunately, the driver fled away. The truck is down on the bush there. 16 people injured. 1 was uplifted by air. So far, that's the situation we can confirm.